Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go through Patreon, where it's $3 a month. So, on the last Let's Play, I really should have write it down because I'm trying to remember this stuff. I guess it was we were talking to the cat girl, well, the black cat, who was like, "Hey, I have this nice gold coin. If you work with me for a week, then, or for me for a week, then you'll get it." Which is cool, because we need the money. And then we went to go do some work for Murdoch after he had a long sleep, and then let's see, we're invited to go have a dinner with Holly, but then, you know, we had the obligation of going to a cemetery with the cat girl, and she was telling us, okay, so I had this friend that was stalked by somebody, and she left town, as the people say, and other children have gone missing. And whenever I, bring up this with anybody, people seem to... It seems like they're listening to what you're saying, but not acknowledging it. So something's up. But anyways, we're in a mausoleum, and she pulled away a wall to bring us into this tunnel. Heck, more tunnels. Though, I wonder if this leads to the mining area. Unsure. I mean, that's where she might find the coin. That might explain William's route. Because remember in William's route when we, at the beginning when we said, hey, I killed the guy, and then William's like, okay, we're going to take you to the mines. And then we went to the mines. And then we're hearing girls giggling and stuff like that in the mines. That could have been these girls. If the mines and this mausoleum are connected. Which would then explain that it's not supernatural, it's just girls being in holes in the ground. Sorry, set my face. I do love that stuff when it comes to like different routes where it's like, here's this thing that you don't really know much about and you won't really know much about until you do another route. Anyways, it opens to a long, dark tunnel. I can feel the rush of air, so familiar, too familiar, to the entrance of the mines. What is this? Me and Melissa call it the tromping grounds, mostly because it's big. Real big. She waves her paw as she walks into the tunnel, and I stand at the entrance. You got a lantern or something? Don't need one. At least, not with where we're going. Oh, so natural light through cracks? Enough beams of natural light make it down here for us to get by. This tunnel has a lot of branches, but we're going straight. And where do those branches go? We don't know all of them yet. But the ones we do know about, we mark with different paint colors. Blue goes to the lake. I see one on the walls marked in black. Where does this one go? Those go nowhere. Or used to go somewhere a long time ago. And that red one? That goes all the way down to the mines. The mines? That's gotta be at least a mile's walk from here. It's impossible to fib. It's impolite to fib. Makes you think you seem as stupid. Ain't a fib. Walk down that way if you don't believe me. Besides, you should take a look at the framing of the tunnels. Huh? They're built sort of like the frames of the mineshaft, aren't they? Probably because the mining company built this place. But why? So I'm thinking smuggling or something like that. There could also be a cult. Do I look like I know? All I'm saying is that these tunnels clearly aren't accidental. And you've never seen anybody use them? Nobody but me and Miss Sela. Elisa? I have a good friend who works at the mines. Maybe he could tell me what this place is supposed to be used for. Asking about it? That's fine and good, so long as you don't show it to him and tell about where it is. And why is that? My camera seems a little bit off, but I seem to be straight. Ooh. Because it needs to stay a secret. You'll understand why soon enough. The longer we walk, the more unsettled I get. There's something about this place that unnerves me. Something about the lighting. She was technically right that we wouldn't need a flashlight. I can't see anything clearly, but I can see just enough to get by. I can see why my own dark outline and her silhouette. I can see my own dark outline and her silhouette as I follow her down the tunnel long enough for my legs to get sore. Motes of dust swirl with the occasional beams of light, sometimes looking like a face, or a body of something much bigger standing in the tunnel. But it leaves just as soon as it comes. It's like when they look into a mirror and the light is low, and things that I see aren't there. Okay, here's the thing. Whip out your penis, start doing it, and you won't have to worry about any of this stuff. Granted, you might want to have the girl keep moving for a bit, though then you might get lost. And I'm joking. I think she's a minor though, and the minor as an underground minor. But also don't do, you know what I'm saying. I'm being silly, but also being like, don't do To Catch a Predator, or the things where people would be caught on To Catch a Predator, and whatever. Not really. But it still feels like something else is looking back. It's getting harder to walk as we go on. Are we going uphill? Yeah, we're at the end. But I don't see anything. A sudden flood of light fills the tunnel as I see the cat's legs dangling above me when the dust clears. She pulls herself out of what looks like a trapdoor. I jump and grab the side of the frame, hauling my chest up with my arms, lifting my feet out one by one. There's a canopy above us. We're in a sparse corpse of pine trees. Copse? Copse. Never seen the thing. Anyways. And there's an old, large house in front of us. Where are we? This is where I live. Why would this tunnel lead us here? I don't know. Been trying to figure it out for years. Now you know why I don't want to tell anybody about this place. I've had nightmares about things coming out of this trapdoor. Doesn't help that I can see it from my bedroom window. So wait, does it go outside the house or inside? I guess it's outside. The wind is blowing, and I can see dust devils spin in the distance as dirt and sand spray past my ears. How far are we from town? Just 5 minutes away, if we follow these tracks. She points to the railroad, which runs parallel with her house, or to her house. Must be noisy. They go on, like an endless ladder leading into the horizon. You ever used to walk down these tracks, Mr. Ayers? What's that got to do with anything? It doesn't. There's just a certain look I notice in some people's faces when they stare at the train tracks. When I was a kid, I guess. Back when you weren't so old. I'm not old. I'm 25. God, I'm 9 years older than him. And counting. That's old as hell. No, it ain't. You don't know shit. I know, I never want to be that old. It do be like that, kid. Can your bones predict the weather yet? I predict I'm gonna snatch that stupid hat off your head when I catch up to your disrespectful ass. I guess you might be like, what, 15 to 18? It's hard, for me, it's always been hard to judge people's ages, but it's also hard to judge people's ages in, like, I don't know, cartoons and anime. Because it'll be like, here's this little kid, they're, in their 20s, or they might be 3,000 years old, and then here's this adult looking person, they're 17. It's like, they look anime adult. But anyways, then do it. I press off the back of my foot, jolting forward, using the initial push off the ground to give me speed. She looks over her shoulder like she hears me, snatches her own hat off her head, and holds her arms out, putting each foot in front of her down in front of her, winding the gap. That's a weird way to say of running. Putting each foot in front of her, down in front of her. I can't be sure if that's I feel like that's a typo. Sorry. I can sprint after for what feels like minutes before I have to slow down. My lungs are practically in my throat at this point. I hold my knees and look between my legs, coming to a stop, gasping for breath. The cat puts her hat back on, hopping from one foot on to the other on the tracks, holding her arms out, balancing. CG. The thing I don't like about this game is that they don't have the they have... Adastra doesn't have CGs. I don't think. Actually, it does have CGs. No, I'm a liar. Yeah, it does. But most CGs, I guess, are sex. But anyways, but you can go to the gallery to look at them. You can't look at the gallery for this game for some reason. I put my paws in my pockets, relax, and walk at a slow pace. Not bad endurance for somebody your size. Wait, do we not have shoes? Do people in this universe not have shoes? I don't care if you're an animal person or not. You need to have shoes unless you have, like, hooves or something. Usually, big burly suckers like you are all power and no grit. You're dressed fairly floral to be talking about grit. What I am is goddamn comfy. I don't need to dress like a boy to work harder than one. If I thought like you did, I'd be saying all boys should wear flowers all the time to be taken seriously. People would laugh at me, and they'd right to laugh, because I'd sound fucking dumb. Sometimes it's like, I guess, to put in the kind of older Western dialect, and it kind of throws me off. At least you have the strength and endurance going for you. Settle down. I'm used to being on my feet more often than not. You travel all the way from the East Coast to the West, and you're bound to end up a little gritty. I thought I heard a particular type of twang in your voice. Dogwood State? Magnolia. Yeah, let's just look at what Dogwood State would be. North Carolina or Florida? I don't know. Anyways, what's that face? You ever met Huckleberry Finn out there? I'd love to meet a boy my age like that. If I did, I'd tell him tell him his name is stupid. Well, you can't. Says who? He's a fictional character, Mr. Ayers, from a book. Guess that means he can't get offended then. I would suppose that's true, Mr. Ayers. So, there's no way he could ever get mad when I say he's a yellow-bellied bitch boy with a gap in his teeth. And and nobody will ever have his babies. Gross. Besides, how would you know anyway if you're not Mark Twain? 'Cause I'm using the power of my imagination. Ain't that the so-called power of books anyhow? Well, sure, but you still have to read the goddamn things. Nah. Yeah, huh? You can't just have ideas about a thing you haven't even read if you want people to take you seriously. I have to say I'm liking this character. She's rough, but when she warms up to you, she's like, agreeable. If somebody's gonna take my ideas about Huckleberry Finn's baby making more seriously based on whether or not I read a book, I probably don't want to be talking to them in the first place. Okay, fair, but that's not the point. Sounds like a good one to me. You didn't do so well back when you went to school, did you, Mr. Ayers? I don't know what you mean by that. I learned how to read and write, and I was done. Wait, no math? Well, there was subtraction and addition. No Euclids? No Archimedes? I get by with knowing just one language, thank you. No history? So wait, are those supposed to be languages? I thought they were like, I don't know, philosophers. Well, most folks learn about all the battles. No Shakespeare? That's the guy who holds the skull? What did they teach you for 12 years? 2? What? We didn't have much money from where I'm from. Our school was just one room and one teacher. Nothing like the brick castle you kids have in this town. 2 years is what you got for free. The extra stuff costs money, and finding a private tutor. And your mom and pa wouldn't get you one? Hell no. No wonder you can't recognize any of Miss Breyer's codes. You think it will lead to buried treasure? Those foxes are well off, but they're not Long John Silverridge. Who? The pirate captain from Treasure Island. Seems like you read a lot of books. They're the cheapest way to be somewhere else. The only book they wanted me reading was the Bible, and Sunday school was free. They gave out all sorts of prizes if you could memorize the most verses. That was the first time I ever got to try saltwater taffy. Oh yeah. It's good, but it's just candy. It was the first time I got to have sugar. Once you know how good something tastes, it's hard to go back. And it's tough remembering what your life was like before you knew. Maybe this stuff is all ordinary when you have so many teachers to answer your questions. And you can just run along down one of these fancy candy stores, popping up downtown with some pocket money and get a whole box of taffy. I wish it could have been like that for me. Keep walking for some time. It seems like she's thinking. And you know what I'd do if I had your body and your strength? I'd track down every rapist and bigot in this filthy community. Overpower them. And then find the biggest stick with rusted nails I'd wrap my claws around and fuck them bloody. That's a frightful thing to say. I guess. But wouldn't most people do that if somebody deserved it? I don't know. Yes, you do. I don't recall asking your opinion on this, Satan. So hush up. I don't really want to think about it. That's fine. Want to know why I do it and I wouldn't lose any sleep? How about you try it once and then see how you feel about it? Kids say tough things like this all the time, but they rarely mean it. I wish I could tell her what it's like to kill somebody, though. Even people you hate. Even people who deserve it. And sure it feels to see that look they get in their eye when they know they're going to die. What waste it all is. We can hear the train getting closer. I don't know. Revenge? No. 'Cause it wouldn't be about revenge. Wouldn't be about the person's satisfaction, my personal satisfaction either. None of that stuff. Killing somebody like that would mean nobody would ever get hurt by them again. I could snap somebody's neck 1,000 times over if it meant saving another girl like me. I mean, it do be like that sometimes. She gives me a look I've never seen another person give me. I mean, here's the thing. In video games, they always seem to be like, well, if you're gonna take revenge on somebody, then it's a renegade evil thing. But if you let them go, then it's a good guy thing. And then it's like, okay, I can understand being like, hey, trying to kill somebody for revenge is not good, because if you like boil on that and then you kill them, then you might be like, well, that's kind of empty right there. What to do now, kind of thing, you know? But if it's like, hey, if you're going to kill somebody because they're a terrible person and the world will be better off without them, then, yeah. And, you know, if you get a little bit of satisfaction or revenge, then that's a cherry on top. If you don't get a cherry on top of your making the better world pie, then hyena. Then that's fine. Though, for legal reasons, don't take my advice on killing bad people, especially since, you know, what some people would call bad people is different from what other people would call bad people. Think of American politics. There you go. Anyways, let's reset our face. She gives me a look I've never seen another person give me. A completely calm and measured look. Cross my heart and hope to die, I would. You know yourself better than I do. Listen, kid, I've got an engagement I gotta keep. Then go. I've got you for the whole week. Meet me back at the cemetery tomorrow. Same time, same place. Till next time, kid. Till next time, old man of the mountain. Give me a break. And she's already gone. She better keep her word about giving me back my money after all of this. I'm still not sure what to think about that underground shaft leading to the mausoleum, from the mausoleum to all parts of town. Why would the mine have built something like that? Nick would know. But I haven't seen him for almost a week. Ever since he missed his appointment with me, I can't tell where the hell he's been. And it's starting to make me anxious. But he knows how to take care of himself. He's got his own friends. He'd probably say I'm simple for worrying about him. But that still doesn't mean I don't need his help, and I miss him. When I get back to town, at least I can see that Murdoch is waiting for me outside the store. I guess we'll get to the front door, because, like, we have enough time to get there, but I'm not sure about enough time to go through it, especially if it's a long scene. It looks like he locked it up already. He tells me I look a little dusty. I tell him we live in a fucking desert. The bars are a 5-minute walk to the store, just outside the range of downtown. The home is tall, but it looks a lot smaller than I would have expected. Yeah, that's the thing. We're about finished with the time. Also, it doesn't look that fanciful, though I guess in an old western place, having a 3-story place seems pretty good. It just looks a little bit thin on this side. So, time to call it. Unfortunately, but it do be like that sometimes. I mean, if you're like, but I want to see what happens next, you can always download it. It's on itch.io for free. But, yeah, comment, guys, comment, subscribe, like, dislike, subscribe, always. If you like me, YouTube and would like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos that have grown. And please remember to spay your animals to control the pet population. I already said it's free on the show, but if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the next update earlier, Patreon. $3 a month. And until next time, let's play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. So thanks and see ya.